One of the most common questions that I get is, which Power Pong robot drills should I be doing? And I'm going to answer that question in 5 parts. Now I want to personalize this video for you. So what I want to do is I want to put you in one of 5 categories. Once we put you in one of those 5 categories, you're going to know exactly what drills you should be doing for the most improvement possible this week. The first category is somebody that belongs to a great club or academy. So let's say, for example, you've got an excellent table tennis club in your neighborhood or in your city that you can attend on a regular basis. Should you be practicing with a robot? Absolutely. As you heard about that Hungarian guy, he had a great team to practice with. He had the national team of Hungary to practice with, yet he still spent an extra 10 to 15 hours a week doing robot training. Why is that important? It's important because you can work on specific details with the robot you can think deeply about, you can meditate on and say, these are the things that I need to work on. Let's isolate these things. So when you're practicing with the team, you're working on everything. Push, flip, loop, counter loop, smash, block, everything. But when you're working with the robot, you can really isolate some specific things. So if you're the type of person that has a great academy, maybe a great coach, maybe a great team to practice with all the time, that's good. Don't stop that. Keep doing that. But add some specific robot drills, maybe something that you're missing, something you want to work on, or it could be one of your strengths. Second category is somebody who doesn't have a great table tennis club. Maybe you live out in the sticks and the nearest club is 150 miles away and you can only go there once a month. If this is you, don't give up hope. There's still progress that you can make. It's just you're going to have to make most of your progress with the robot. In that case, what do you need to work on? You need to work on your short push. You need to work on your flip. You need to work on your long push. You need to work on your block. Blocking spinning loops is important. You need to work on your smash. You need to work on your footwork. You need to be able to work on your backhand forehand transition between looping backspin with your forehand to hitting a backhand versus looping backspin with your backhand and then hitting a forehand. So you've got to be able to work on both of those transitions. And you've got to be able to link all the shots together, maybe in a 3-ball, a 4-ball, or a 5-ball match sequence. So if you don't have a table tennis club, that's fine. You can make progress. It's just you're going to really need to work on enhancing all aspects of your game. If you neglect your push for a month, guess what? It's going to get worse. If you neglect your footwork for a week, guess what? It's going to get a lot worse. So if you don't have a table tennis club and you're going to use Power Pong Robot as your primary means of training, that's fine. Just make sure that you're working on everything. The third category, and I think maybe you're in this category, is you want to learn something new. Maybe you've wanted to learn, let's say, a push variation with your forehand, or a counter loop variation, or maybe you want to learn backhand loop. Maybe every time that your opponent pushes deep to your backhand, you're missing that backhand loop. Maybe not every time, but maybe you're 90% missed, 10% on, and you really want repetition on that. You've been telling yourself for the last 10 years, I really want to get a good backhand loop. Yet when you go to the club, you're still making a lot of errors. Maybe you don't have somebody that can push to you or serve to you for an hour a day to just work on that one skill. So what do? You break out your Power Pong robot, you set it up for isolating one ball to one location, and then you just get repetition on that ball. So if you want to learn something new, it's difficult when you play at the club, especially when you're playing higher level players and you're just hanging on for the ride. You're just reacting to their shots. It's difficult to improve it. With the Power Pong robot, isolating one thing and getting repetition on that again and again and again is a big key. The fourth thing is tournament preparation. Are you the type of person that has a tournament this month, maybe next week, maybe this week, you've got a tournament and you say, I want to use the Power Pong robot to get me ready for the tournament. What do I need? You need confidence. What is confidence? See, the world and the athletic world, they have a funny view of what confidence is. Confidence sometimes is like putting your chest out, putting your head up, and just walking out there and giving yourself the ultimate pep talk. I can do it. Well, that might work, but that might just be head in the clouds, confidence in nothing. See, I believe confidence is 2 things. 1 is developing the skills, and 2 is trusting the skills that you already have. So if you have a tournament this week, you need to think to yourself, what skills have I developed that are already good that I can just enhance and build more and more and more confidence in? So list 1 or 2, maybe even 3 things and just focus on your strengths. As your strengths get stronger, now you can put confidence in your 3rd ball attack or your counter loop or your smash, or your flip, or your serve, or serve return, or whatever your strengths may be. You can put your confidence in that, and you can focus on doing those things really well in tournaments. So if you're the type of person that has a tournament coming up, make sure that you practice your strengths, your strong sequences. And then the fifth one, this is a little bit unusual. The fifth one is actually, are you an injured athlete? You see, a lot of times when people are injured, they take off a week or a month or sometimes even 2 or 3 months. I'm under the impression that even if you're injured, there's always something you can practice. Maybe you can't go out there and train with your rival because you have a leg injury. But guess what? You can still practice your block, or you can still practice your push, or your serve, or serve return. There's things you can practice even with a leg injury. Maybe you have a wrist injury and you are able to play forehand, but you can't play a backhand because it just puts too much strain on your wrist. So if you go to the club and play matches, it's not reasonable to play full table forehand. But you say, hey, I can work on my forehand while my wrist recovers, so I'm just going to do forehand drills with the robot. So if you take the approach that there's always something you can work on, even when you're injured, you can still make progress with the robot. Why is this important? Because your rival, when he's injured, he takes a month off and he gets worse. So not only did he lose a month of training, but it'll take him another month to get back to where he was. For you, you take, instead of taking the full month off, you say, hey, I'm going to practice these other specific things. During that month, some things might have got worse, yes, but some things also got better. By the end of the year, you're going to be much further along than your rival because you used your injured days or injured weeks to your advantage to work on other things. And you can do that with PowerPong robot training. Last thing I want to mention, and then I'm going to wrap up. The number one missing thing in robot training is linking the shots together. I see 2 types of training happening a lot, where we're just working on one shot, or we're just working on endless footwork drills of doing 300 balls in a set. What actually happens in a match? What happens in a match is it starts with a serve or serve return, always. And then it ends up in a sequence, oftentimes 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 balls. And then it's a break, and then the next rally begins. So regardless of which of these 5 categories you're in, I would highly recommend at least some game sequences in your week of training. What you're going to find is this is more enjoyable because it keeps the mind engaged for those 5 balls. It's more match-like because you've got the rally and then the break. And overall, you're going to have better results than anything if you're working on these 3-ball, 4-ball, and 5-ball sequences. So regardless of which category you're in, I would also, in addition to that, recommend adding some game sequences. Thanks for watching. If you're seeing this video on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below. And if you have a question or comment, make sure you leave it down below. See you soon.